Kyle Hunter for BangTheBook.com. It's your Saturday, February 9th college basketball preview. Hope you've had a good week here. Let's try to get you started with a good weekend here. I'm going to get you some notes for Saturday's college basketball action. There's always a ton of games here on Saturday. It's something I try to do here is to break down a few interesting games that have important situational spots, or maybe it's just a game that you really want to watch. It's a massive game, and I'll give you my thoughts on that game. There's always a ton of games on Saturday. It's very hard for you to look through all those games. I do this full time, so I try to break down a few of them that I think you might have a bit of an edge on, or like I said, one of them that you think that most people will be wanting to watch. Before I get into this, be sure to check out everything that's going on at bangthebook.com. Always great stuff there at bangthebook.com. Situational spot articles for all the different sports, got NBA stuff, college basketball stuff. I know football season's over, but baseball season's not far away. Adam Burke's doing a MLB betting guide for that. That's going to be on the way here later this month in February. That's going to be some great information to get you ready for baseball season. As it is right now, NBA and college basketball in full swing. If you're a basketball bettor, this is your time of the year. I love betting basketball, especially college basketball. So, as you know, I'm a big college sports guy, big totals guy. We've talked about it a lot on handicapping the hardwood on Blog Talk Radio, Bang the Book Radio. It's one of those things where I think I have a bigger edge there, and the long term, I've proven that can turn a pretty good profit there in college basketball. That's why I'm doing the college basketball daily article at bangthebook.com. So far, a great start on that article. Started that up at the beginning of January, 47 and 27 in that with a nice profit there. Check that out every day there at bangthebook.com. It's free, pay nothing. I'll give you my thoughts. I spend a lot of time on all these cards. Try to convey that in the article the best I can as far as the research that I've spent to get to that point. Certainly appreciate all the likes, the follows, or retweets. If you haven't already, also subscribe to Bang the Book on YouTube. Videos like this one, videos daily from Adam Burke, some videos from Brian Blessing. There's lots of videos there at YouTube, Bang the Book's channel, that are going to be very informative to you as a sports bettor. So I would highly suggest to you subscribe to this YouTube channel, Bang the Book, if you haven't already, and like and share this. Certainly the thumbs up, the like for on YouTube encourage us to do this again in the future. We'll try to keep putting together betting content that will help you win. And like I said, check out the daily college basketball article if you haven't already. All those situational spots articles, there's tons of stuff there to help you win. Let's get into some of the games here for Saturday's action. Saturday, February 9th, I'm going to start with Florida and Tennessee. Look, what's wrong with this Florida team? They've got to be better than they are right now. Their talent is too good to be 12 and 10. Florida, this is a big game for them. Florida had a real chance to beat Tennessee at home, completely fell apart at the end of that game. That's been a pretty recurring theme here for Florida, is they look like they have a chance to pick up that big win, and then it all falls apart on them right at the end. Certainly not been impressed with Florida so far this year. I still think they're better than what it looks like they are. We'll see if they can turn it around here. I lean to Florida in this game because I think we're going to be getting double digits. Tennessee's been very good this year. I've said before, I don't really trust Rick Barnes. Still the case. I mean, Tennessee has been tremendous so far this year. Nothing they've done to this point this season is the reason I would say that. I just think that once you get in the NCAA tournament, I'd rather have a different coach. But, if they go and make a big run, I'll certainly give Rick Barnes his props. I think this Florida team, desperate for a good performance. I think if you can get 11 and a half, 12 points, you have to lean toward Florida in a game like this where you think that both defenses are very good. There shouldn't be a ton of points in a game like this. So you can get double digits. I would lean toward Florida in this game. Obviously, wouldn't be a big play of mine. Florida hasn't proven trustworthy. So that's a lean of mine, not a really strong lean. Virginia Tech and Clemson. Clemson's got to win this game. I mean, they cannot lose this game. Tigers have missed some really great opportunities so far this year. Clemson seems like they're always just looking for that key win that might get them in the NCAA tournament. And under Brad Brownell the last few years, they haven't been able to get it. Can they get it here? Look, this is the best opportunity they're going to get. Virginia Tech, their record's very good. They're a shell of their former selves when Justin Robinson's not playing. Clark not playing all year for the suspension, with the suspension. Virginia Tech is not that good of a team right now. If Clemson cannot win this game, it would surprise me, first of all, and it would be a sign of how badly they are in the big games that they really need. I really think Clemson will be favored in this game. If they're not, they should be. I like the under or Clemson in this game, and this is one of my stronger leans. So I think that this is a great spot for Clemson to walk into. Everybody's going to see Virginia Tech's record and think, man, this is a huge win for Clemson. But like I said, without Justin Robinson, a very thin Virginia Tech team at this point, I really don't think that this is as hard of a matchup for Clemson as what it looks like on paper. So it's all set up for them now. Can they do it? FIU and UTEP. FIU was blown out by UTSA despite being in a great situational spot on Thursday night. That was one of my losses on the daily college basketball article for BangTheBook.com. Just a 1 unit play. And like I said, I've done very well, but I own my losses as well. That was one of them. It was a bad pick. UTSA just came out like they weren't in a bad spot at all. They had played 3 games where they had expended a lot of energy. 2 of the 3 were in overtime. Then they come home, face an FIU team that should have been much fresher and in a better spot than them, and they just lay waste to them. So great performance from UTSA. They showed a lot in that game. They're a very well coached team. What can FIU do now? 2 days later, they're at UTEP. Keep in mind, UTEP, high elevation, tough spot to play, especially second game in 3 days. UTEP is not a good team, so hesitant to back them very strongly at all. I think this one probably comes out around Pick'em or UTEP -1. I would lean toward UTEP here because I think FIU in a difficult spot. At the same time, UTEP's certainly not a good team. They've lost quite a few games at home. So see what you think about this game. But like I said, I wouldn't want to play FIU second game in 3 days at altitude. They're certainly not used to that being from Florida. So keep that in mind as you make your bets for this game. East Tennessee State and Furman. East Tennessee State coming off a brutal loss to Wofford. Overtime, home loss to Wofford in what was a massive game for them. This is a really quick turnaround, a very, very tough spot for East Tennessee State. East Tennessee State beat Furman by 23 points earlier this year. Furman has to be hungry for a win here. Going to be highly motivated, want to get revenge from that first game. East Tennessee State, is there going to be any hangover from that first game? We'll see from last game. We'll see if there's any hangover from last game. Furman would be the only side I could take in this game. I think maybe Furman -2.5, -3 is what we see in this one. Furman's #1 in defensive efficiency in the SoCon. Just a very good defensive team. Furman's fresh. East Tennessee State coming off that overtime loss. Only one way I could look in this game. UIC at IUPUI. Kind of an under the radar game here. Like I've said to you many times before, if you followed my work at all, love under the radar games. I certainly think there's more value in those in general, and that's where I've made most of my money in the long term. UIC in a nice road revenge spot here. UIC lost at home by 2 points to IUPUI. How did IUPUI win that first game? They out rebounded UIC 42-30, and that's something to keep an eye on here. I think UIC is the side I like more in this game because I think that we're going to be getting 5.5, 6 points with UIC. And road revenge is a strong angle. Definitely like to look for road revenge with a quality team. Road revenge doesn't mean much to a team that is just falling apart and quitting on the season. I don't think UIC fits that at all. But can they hold their own on the glass? That's a big question mark. They're not a very good rebounding team. IUPUI, very good rebounding. So my lean here is UIC with the road revenge spot. But as I said, you got to try to handicap whether you think UIC can hold their own when it comes to rebounding in this game. Last one I want to talk about, hey, this is the game of the day, Duke and Virginia. Have to talk about some under the radar games, but also have to talk about a game like this. As a fan, I am really excited for this game. Can't wait for this one. Duke at Virginia. Virginia's going to be favored here, but by how much? I think Virginia is favored by 3.5, 4 points. in this game, but it depends a lot on whether Ty Jerome is playing. Ty Jerome questionable for this game. Definitely check his status before this game. A very key player for that Virginia team. Virginia, they really need a player like him with the ability to facilitate the offense, score, a good defender, very key to their team. Also note that Trey Jones did not play in that first game for Duke. He will play in this game. That makes a difference for Duke. Duke won that first game 72-70 in only 63 possessions in that game. So Virginia got their pace, but Duke was able to win despite that. Because they scored 18 points from the line, Virginia only had 11. That was the difference in that game. Can Duke keep getting to the free throw line that much? They probably won't get to the line as many times as they did last game, which they were actually 18 for 31 from the line in that game. So they didn't shoot them very well, but they did get to the line a bunch. I think that Virginia probably gets some revenge here, but I don't want to lay points with Virginia. If you get up to 4.5, 5, then I would start leaning toward Duke. I think that this line is going to tell us quite a bit. Is Jerome going to play? If Jerome isn't playing, then that changes the line definitely. And the odds makers don't want much liability on the side of Duke because everybody likes Duke. Their public team. Everybody knows how great they are. So this could be a public underdog spot. Let's see what happens with this game. More than anything, I think this is a great game to watch as a fan. So there's a look at some of the Saturday, February 9th games coming up. If you have any comments or questions, certainly send them my way. At Kyle Hunter Picks on Twitter. You can like this video to help us out. Share this. Subscribe on YouTube, Bang the Book. And check out my daily article at BangTheBook.com. I hope you all have a great weekend. Best of luck.